Despicable Me 4 hit theaters with the reputation of being one of the best animated movies of the year. But do you know all the little details and Easter eggs hidden in Gru and the Minions' fourth film? For instance, did you notice that when Gru, Poppy, the Minions, and Gru Jr. are escaping from the villain school principal, they pass by a motivational banner that says, "Think evil, act worse." That's definitely the spirit, at least for those who might one day be caught by the AVL that Gru now works for. And right after that, in the next scene, when the good and bad old lady activates the turbo mode on her wheelchair and starts destroying everything behind the intruders, she passes by a rather unusual sign in the school hallway. What it says is nothing special, as it mentions it's a construction area, but its symbol is definitely villain-themed, showing a picture of an explosive bomb. Seriously? Who would use powerful explosives in a construction site within a kid's school? Definitely only villains. Speaking of Principal Ubelschlecht, if you still have any doubts about her origin or might have guessed the story of the villain school, when Gru and his team enter her office with Gru Jr.'s help, we can see a picture of the school's top authority next to her good and beloved son, Dr. Nefario. This one almost went unnoticed by many. The scenes with the terrible and later lovable Honey Badger happened so intensely and quickly that many didn't even notice the name of the school's little mascot appears in the background when Poppy makes that "aw, how cute" face as Gru Jr. tames the beast. We can see that his food bowl has the name Lenny written on it. On the statue of the villain school mascot where Gru manages to pull the lever to lower the cage of the innocent little animal, we can also see that the name Lenny is engraved, confirming that this is indeed the name of the school's psychotic honey badger. Additionally, we can notice that the semi-murderous pet has a habit of sharpening its claws on the wall of its corner, and also seems to enjoy skinning its teddy bears for fun. In the scene where Gru is heading to meet his former villain school classmates, we see him driving that powerful car. When we look at his license plate, we notice it has a certain significance. It reads DM090710. DM stands for Despicable Me, which is the original title of the movie in the USA, and 090710 is the official release date of the first movie, which was July 9th, 2010. And if you are a fan of Despicable Me, prove it to us and comment below #Gru. Now speaking about the Mega Minions, if you enjoy older superhero movies, you might have noticed a reference to the second Spider-Man movie released 20 years ago. The homage happens in the scene where the Mega Minion theoretically saves a train and its passengers using his body's elasticity. This scene is almost identical to the one where Peter Parker uses multiple webs to stop a train from derailing because of Dr. Octopus. In fact, we have another reference to that same Marvel superhero movie released in 2004. Remember the scene where the 5 minions go to the lab and are transformed into Mega Minions? We notice that the mechanical tentacles placing them into the capsules seem to have a life of their own. This is another nod to Spider-Man 2, this time to the movie's villain, Dr. Octopus, who also has 4 mechanical tentacles that seem to have a life of their own. I love these references because I'm a fan of that Spider-Man movie. But these were certainly not the only references we found in Despicable Me to an older classic movie. During the scene where Lucy and the girls are chased inside the supermarket by the dissatisfied customer because of Lucy's poor hair treatment, there's a clear nod to the chase scene in Terminator 2 from 1991, where the robot pursues a young John Connor. This was definitely a good reminder of the great movies from back in the day. Now speaking about when Mr. Ramsbottom with the Minions in the AVL Command Center is about to recruit some of them for the Mega Minions experiment, we can notice some interesting things happening in the background that most people missed. For example, we see one of the little yellow creatures running on the treadmill who ends up slipping and falling off the equipment. This time, I felt sorry for him. At the same time, we can see another minion slowly descending a staircase in the background. I don't know about you, but it seems to me like he's trying to take as long as possible. The fact that he quickly looks around to see if anyone is watching him makes it even more obvious. What a slacker, goofing off at work! In the same scene, notice another minion face-planting into a safety net in what seems to be another experiment conducted with Gru's minions. Sometimes I think the AVL hired these poor guys just for this purpose. In the next scene, we see another little yellow creature trying his luck with some weightlifting. But as we can see, he's not doing too well. He tries and fails to do a quick pull-up and ends up giving up. But he's still doing better than his other yellow-skinned friend, who is struggling with all his might to lift a gym weight in the background, but is only managing to lift one side of the dumbbells. While some minions focus on their physical skills, we see that others never lose their romantic side, which is one of Gru's minions' trademarks. This is clear when we see that in the background, while Mr. Ramsbottom is talking to the group of minions, one of them is walking beside a young and beautiful AVL employee. But it seems we've spotted an interesting backstory happening, because a few moments later, we see the same girl returning, but this time without the minion. In this scene, there's another man beside her with his hand on her shoulder. And behind them is the little minion we saw earlier, looking as if he's been sabotaged by the other guy. It seems that the minion and this other AVL employee are vying for the same girl's affection. Who will win? Probably some future Minion short film will show us exactly what happened and who managed to win the girl's heart, if any of them did. And if you've made it this far, it's clear you really enjoy animated movies and cartoons, so go ahead and click the subscribe button to make sure you don't miss our upcoming videos. Throughout the first 3 Despicable Me movies, we saw that Margot always wore a different logo on her black t-shirt that referenced some of the major symbols of Illumination, the same animation company behind Gru and the Minions. First, we saw the girl wearing a t-shirt with the symbol of the Lorax, one of the company's early films. Then, in the sequel, we saw the girl change it up a bit and wear the symbol of a Japanese comedy series called Wangan-kun. And in the third movie, she wears a t-shirt featuring the character who hates Christmas, the Grinch. And now in the fourth film, most people thought it would be a random symbol, but that's not the case. The print on her t-shirt is actually a big reference to the clothing brand Brain Dead, which has released several clothing pieces in partnership with Illumination. The newest character in the franchise is Poppy, and we can tell she absolutely loves pink and cats. But we can also see she's a big fan of several past villains, especially the Vicious Six. For example, when Gru visits her treehouse, we can spot dolls of 4 members of the group in the background: Bell Bottom, Nunchuck, Jean-Claude, and the Swedish skating champion Svengeance. And not just them, if you look at the top shelf, you'll see a doll with a pompadour and a purple outfit, none other than the super stylish Balthazar Brat. It seems to be a version of him when he was still a teenager and had his villainy kid show.
It is I, Happy Prescott, villainess.
Back to the AVL and the Mega Minions, we have that incredible scene where the Mega Minions go to the cafeteria and lots of funny things happen. From Dave accidentally throwing his fan to one of the yellow beings spitting coffee on the head of the minion in front of him while laughing. But it's not about these 2 moments we want to talk about, but rather 2 more hidden things. We know that the Minions animators love to sneak in affectionate scenes between the yellow beings in their films, and we found another one in Despicable Me 4. When Mr. Ramsbottom calls the Mega Minions to leave, if we look behind him, we'll notice one of the yellow beings kissing another one's bald head several times. But still in that same scene, we can notice another really cool thing that happens right after the previous scene. Right after the kisser finishes kissing his colleague's bald head, notice that another of Gru's servants holding a ketchup bottle squirts it right at the kisser minion. Honestly, it doesn't make any sense, but it's really funny. Let's not forget that we see once again the poor Mega Minion Dave's fan, who then fell on the microwave, staggering and falling again, completely dazed. He's definitely going to be knocked out for a while. If you like Gru and the Minions, you definitely enjoyed discovering all this with us. That's all for now, but we've left 2 really cool videos for you to check out right now if you want. Just click on whichever you prefer. I heard the one on the right is really good.